Shai, Bar Shem, Harakah, Dash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone, all well to the hopeful elect. We are Hebrew Israelites who come out every week to prophesy for this kingdom in accordance with the prophecies of the Holy Bible, to bring so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and all of the scattered of the Heavenly Father back onto Him, and not just any of those people mentioned, but the elect, because there's a remnant according to grace that basically are going to be saved in these last days. Alright? So, as I said, the prophets in every kingdom have been sent forth to basically speak on all the wicked acts that were done in that kingdom. Alright? And basically be the mouthpiece of the Heavenly Father to let it be known things that are to come in the lead up to the destruction of the kingdom. Alright? That was presently ruling at that time. So this kingdom is no different. If anything, this kingdom is more, all the more relevant in terms of the Heavenly Father, his mouthpiece, to speak boldly against him. Alright? Because the Heavenly Father, before he does any acts, he lets it be known to establish the fact that, and that's the distinguishing factor. The fact that the Heavenly Father says it's going to happen before it happens, that shows his great might and power. Alright? So it can't be disannulled and said, oh wow, why did he say that afterwards? We never knew it was going to happen. No, that's the greatness in the book. The fact that he said it, and the people he utilized to say his words usually are lowly people in the sight of the Heavenly Father. And there ain't no other lowly people than the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? That's why in the salvation it says that people are going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation, right? Because they took our lives for a mockery, right? What fact?
Yeah. Nahum 3 and 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations for her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face.
Yeah, the Most High said I'm against you, alright? And why is he against? It spoke of the Nahum spoke of the well-favored harlot, alright? That selleth nations for her whoredoms. That's the reason why the Most High is against this kingdom, right? Because they utilize witchcrafts that are staunchly against the words of the Heavenly Father, and more so, why are they a culprit? Why are they a culprit of those things? Because as it tells you in the Book of Psalms, they took on the laws unto themselves, right? Even like the so-called Jews down there in the land of Israel, they're based the state of Israel. They're claiming to be the Jews, all right? So in their proclamation to be the tribe of Judah, they're then meant to exalt the Heavenly Father to the heavens and show and reverence Him. But the fact that they put that title upon them is all the more that they receive the judgment that pertains to the words. And this is what they were speaking about, right?
Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
Yeah, so the Most High said, I'm against you, alright? So, as mentioned in the book of Jeremiah 28 and 8, it tells you that the Most High raised up his prophets to basically speak against kingdoms of great war, evil, and pestilence. So that's the people that he utilize. The Heavenly Father ain't gonna come down from his throne and gonna, get in the midst of his creations and say, look, I'm against you. No, he created mouthpieces, right, prophets that do his bidding upon the earth, all right, and be a representation of his power. And that's what they're doing, all right. The prophets are basically speaking of the great acts that are to come, and the great acts that are presently happening upon the earth, and how they pertain to the prophecies of the Bible, right? And that's part of the discovering of the skirts. It tells you about their tongue falling upon themselves. So you're gonna have people. That's where you have the whistleblowers, right? Edward Snowden. Um, what's his name? Not Alistair. What's his name?
William Assange.
William Assange. Yeah,
Was it Julian?
Julian Assange. Right?
Yeah, I
Julian
said it
Assange.
wrong.
That was over there in Knightsbridge for about 10 years. All right. So you basically have all these different people that whistleblowing, but then also you have them slipping of the tongue in government. All right. You have various things as to how they're being exposed, and then ultimately through what the mouthpiece of the prophets of the Heavenly Father. They're basically letting it be known all the things that pertain to these coming days and exposing all your underhand tactics, all right? Where you're looking to go to with all these things that are presently happening on the earth. Right now you have a big thing that's about to happen upon this earth dealing with food shortages, all right? Now, some of them, they may say is natural in the sense of limitations on the movement of people due to COVID and all these different things, all right? But then the main thing that's also happening in the background is they're doing things such as contamination of plants, where they got to recall certain foods, terrorist attacks happening, all right? Or acts, what's the other word? When someone arson, basically people doing acts of arson on food plants and food processing plants. So it's going to basically have a great effect on the supply of food. So that's the next pandemic, if you will. There's going to be great food shortages and inflation. And where do you find this? How do we know this? Well, you might say, well, it's obviously told you on the news. We've been saying this for years. And really starting with the apostles, where we've entered into their work, they've been saying it for years. So these are the prophecies of the Bible come to pass. And that's part of the discovering of the stuff. Getting this close so far away.
This is not even high. Nahum 3 and 6 and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and will set thee as a gazing stock.
And this is what we're in the process of happening, right? A good example of that right now is Biden, man, Joe Biden. Right now, Joe Biden is looking crazy on the world stage in terms of politics. Okay, this guy is breaking down before us, man. I swear Trump is older than bloody Biden as well. But Biden's knocking on death's door, man. All right, he's gonna head America into. He's giving up the ghost before us, man.
He's gonna go out like Kevin Samuels, man.
So that's part of it as well. All right, Joe Biden. Can't read on.
Oh, no, go. No, I was gonna get something else. Isaiah 47 and 11. Oh wait. Yeah. It's up verse 10. It says, "But thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge they have perverted thee. Thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me."
Yeah. So basically, well, no, read on.
"Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee."
Yeah, like basically this Esau Edom, right, a so-called white man, as he's known in his biblical race, Esau Edom, with the elites of this society, right, the Rothschild, Rockefellers, DuPont, etc., etc. They've had so much success within their rulership. As it tells you in the book of Psalms, they thought that the Heavenly Father was at peace with them. But not ultimately to your success or to your prosperity, right? Because they utilize things such as Cleopatra's Needle, which you can see right over there, right? You can see the top of it. And that comes directly from where? Egypt. And that's fulfilling the prophecy of Revelations, the 11th chapter, about this place being spiritually Sodom and Egypt. And this is the enchantments that basically Esau's been utilizing from his youth up.
And mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou mayest be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail.
Yeah, the Most High basically said he's going to pull back the veil and show you that everything you've been doing, I held my peace. I let it be. Alright? But now, when the Most High starts to show his hand before the masses of the people, if you try and pull those old tricks, he's gonna show you the okie doke. Alright? And show you that he sorry, the okie doke. He show you that he did the rope dope like Ali on a foreman, man. He was acting like he was hurt. Not even hurt, but I don't even want to put that on the Most High. But he was acting like he was, at one with your mindset. But really, he never was. And he's going to show his hand and show great evil in his last days. All right?
Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
Yeah, these are different facets of Esau's counsel, right? Because he deals with witchcraft in many forms, right? Seances, sacrifices. Even the big thing right now is a big deal with abortions, all right? Where they're basically saying it's against body autonomy, where a woman's allowed to decide whether she wants a baby or not. But in reality, what abortion is murder, right? The simple way to put it is that entity inside of you a living being? Yes or no? And the answer is yes, all right? So you're killing a person due to, I'm not ready to be a mother yet.
Yeah, due to wanting to get some creamy nuts bust inside,
Yeah.
but no consequences.
Yeah.
Which, anyone, when you're 11, they give you a little booklet that explains this is your willy. When you put it inside a vagina, and you squirt sperm inside, that's where fucking kids come from.
Yeah, 9 months after you squirt sperm inside a woman, 9 months later, a baby's gonna come outside. That sperm is gonna be fertilized, and the fruit that's gonna be born of it is gonna be a child.
It's gonna be a fucking little person who's gonna grow up and become a
full-blown adult.
Yeah, full-blown adult. And they're then gonna be able to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Should they so desire. So that that's the thing. It's basically just trying to throw out the laws of essentially how shit runs.
Yeah.
It's not even it's like common sense. But why? It's just basically it's market, it's PR. Because instead of calling it assassinating the youth, you just say it's only aborting it. Instead of saying the baby. That's something that Thingy said as well. You meant to call it a fetus or an embryo. But what's his name? Joe Biden was like, aborting the babies, which is something that people get up in a huff. Why? Because they're trying to make it all technical to where it's justified. This is it's basically just a form of witchcraft. That's complete insanity. For people to just be completely accepting of just thousands of people killing their kids. That is complete and total insanity.
And it's really when you deal with the medical field, it's really a form of witchcraft, because all medicine dealing with I'll forget the name right now. Hippocrates. There's different facets to it, but when you basically abort a baby, what you're doing is you're actually sacrificing to Satan. Man. That's really what you're doing. You're killing someone. You're making your child to pass through the fire of Molech. Right, and these are the concepts people can't really understand, because they've been normalized in the process of their mind, basically. That killing a baby, right, is just fine. It's acceptable, right? But here is the greater thing, right, at play. This is also going to lead to dehumanization, dehumanize it. Am I using the right word? So it's basically gonna sorry, my mind's straying again. It's basically gonna make you get used to the idea of people being terminated. Because you had another video, I don't know if you saw it, but they're basically talking about to what age can you abort a baby, and they said 8 months. So they say 8 months past the baby being born.
Third trimester.
Yeah.
Niggas in there breathing and like that's
No, I'm saying out born.
Oh yeah.
The baby's been born.
Perinatal.
Yeah. So they're saying after the baby's born, they should be allowed to kill the baby. Which is crazy.
And
that's
the
cool.
thing is,
That's
it's
called murder.
And there's people that will call with it.
Yeah,
that shows how desensitized. Like that's the
yeah.
thing is like people are real desensitized to it.
That's the word I was saying.
Because as far as to them, it's like they just, the thing is, it's all just it's complete madness.
Yeah. But that's the point to build upon that. Now, if they can say you're allowed to terminate a baby 8 months after birth, where does that stop? How far does it go? What's next on the agenda, basically? All right. It's just like when they said love is love. All right. And that was spurred out of what? A man and a man loving each other, a woman and a woman loving each other. It's love. So now when does that stop? Isn't a man loving a baby love is love?
There's a clip of viral, some guy talking about, it's like, I think he was saying like, we're trying to justify, like, why is it that someone can't just have sex with a child? It was like, okay, it's like 14 years old, it's like they're 8 years old, or if they're like 1 year old, I don't really see the reasoning for why we can't, why an adult
and the reality is, I don't agree with that. But what he's saying within the realms of what's being established,
the mindset that's been pushed out, that is in line with it. That's the thing, which is why it's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
because people have already been broken down. It's like you have like there was I watched a video talking about some dudes that were having sex with animals, and these guys were absolutely grim. Like they were vile, detestable. Like they actually recorded videos of them doing things like fucking babies till they die. I said baby, fucking puppies till they die. Literally, the puppy got ripped apart because they went up in the puppy's booty and things like this. Like, this is the levels of insanity that's being pushed out. And the thing is they've got like forums where guys will go in there and be like, I love my German Shepherd. Me and my German Shepherd have been together for XYZ. He loves blah blah blah. I love when my when my puppy sucks my dick. Like it's fucking wild. Like this is, and that's the thing is, it's like these things have become more and more accepted over time. Because why? It's that's the general vibe anyway. It's essentially having no boundaries, no limits. You can just do anything. And that's where it goes. That's where it ends up.
And as you said, no one ain't gonna speak out and say that, yo, you shouldn't be fucking that dog. You shouldn't be fucking getting fucked by a horse, right? Because what's happening as well is cancel culture, all right? People are fucking intimidated to be.
Certain things you're just not allowed to say. You say certain things, you'll get in trouble. Finish this. So Isaiah 57:13. Thou art weary in a multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. That's the end goal. All of these channels Esau's going into. That's the thing, it's all these different acts. These lascivious, vile acts that become normalized. And hey, they're all in the mindset, they're all thinking, hey, the mindset of just being open and doing anything, do as thou wilt doctrine. That's become what? The stronghold, that's the power. That's what people, maneuvering through society, feeling a certain kind of way in the West. They're feeling like, oh, they're justified, they'll staunchly just be out. Man, those what you call it, like those pictures of like what was it, Pride Parade, where it was like people bringing their 5-year-olds, their 7-year-olds to Pride Parades, where you got men in bondage gear, dildos, all this, doing all kinds of grim acts in public.
Might be blowing each other.
Yeah, and then just dogging each other on top of the car, and then you just got your kid there just witnessing. Like what? This is and that's just something that people will argue on. Oh, I love bringing my kids to the Pride. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? It's even that bill that's in the US now, where they're putting the Don't Say Gay bill, which is basically like, essentially it's just saying you can't teach kids about anything sexual before the age of 9, especially without parents' consent. That's something that has been taken up as, oh no, this is a problem. And this is the kind of thing that's insanity. That's the public school system. You sling your youths in there. They want to be able to just do whatever they desire, pump whatever they want into their mind. With you having no say. Hey, and it's what all these different forms of witchcraft that become normalized. Like the brother mentioned with the abortions, it's like, bro, if you're you're gonna try and say it's not kids being killed. I don't know what I don't know what form of reality. Most people will admit it's fucked up, but it's like it's better than certain people shouldn't just have kids. I'm like, well,
then you shouldn't have sex.
What the hell? I'm like, you should like. It's not like even then. It's like you can use contracept. Like there's a variety of There's a variety of manners.
But the reason why
it's like because it's just like it's like you don't even need to go that. Like they're saying it like the only it's like either they're gonna have an abortion or they're not gonna have some. Like it's not even that deep.
But
like there's a variety of ways
facetious.
up onto that point to where there's no excuse for you getting pregnant.
But the reason why I said you shouldn't have sex is because that's a real life remedy.
Yeah, the responsibilities of it in reality. You're obviously not fit to bear that. And that's the thing. It's like, but that's the modern age. It's do it because it feels good. Don't consider no consideration for any of the real essentially it's denying reality. It's just like same thing with if you go up to a random guy in the street, you scream in his face. You might get punched. You might get suplexed. You might get uppercut. But people are so used to going online and just be like, "You're a fucking loser" in all caps on the comment board or on Twitter or whatever. These things have basically blurred that line to where actions don't have consequences. That's the reality people are living in. There's people when they grow up, they might do fucked up shit. Like, oh no, little Billy didn't mean to, and then there's no consequence. So they don't learn the lesson. And that's what hey, having a kid is, that's the consequence. Because that's the thing, in reality, there's so many steps before you get to the point where you're gonna have to abort the youth. Which is why, and that's why it's like for you to do that, it's like the way you're maneuvering is you obviously don't have any form of boundary or any form of conduct to handle that. And it's like if you're not ready for the fact that a kid will come over, then maybe, I don't know, choose the guy that you fucking better. Or, I don't know, possibly, find someone to start a family with. Crazy idea, I know. Wacky. Imagine doing that. Yeah. But, hey, that's how I worked out everything. Oh, there's this one as well. Just mentioned it. Second Kings 23 and 6. And he brought out the grove from the house of the Lord Yahweh without Jerusalem unto the brook Kidron, and burned at the brook Kidron, and stamped it small to powder, and cast the powder thereof upon the graves of the children of the people. And he brake down the houses of the Sodomites that were by the house of the Lord, where the women wove hangings for the grove. And he brought all the priests out of the cities of Judah and defiled the high places where the priests had burned incense from Geba to Beersheba, and break down the high places of the gate, that when entering in the gate of Joshua, the governor of the city, that were on the man's left hand of the gate of the city. Nevertheless, the priests of the high places came not to the altar of the Lord Yahweh in Jerusalem, but they did eat of the unleavened bread among their brethren. And he defiled Topheth, which is in the valley of the children of Hinnom, that no man might make his son or his daughter to pass through the fire to Moloch. So yeah, these men were doing all forms of madness, and as well, it's like what, like passing through the fire for Moloch. That's the child sacrifice. That's been a thing the heathen and Jacob well been on. As far from right now, it's like you look at who's the top number one customer of Planned Parenthood. Women on the side, man. Yeah.
And it's really the so-called black woman at the top of the list.
Yeah. It's actually it's actually wild. When you look at the statistics, it's like representative, like the black woman is doing like multiple, I might even get them up. Because it's like 20 times something a bit, it's like they're doing more than white women. And then comparatively, the amount of white women it's just like, god damn, it's like they must have been going in to get them numbers. Like, it's actually vile. And then they do have kids, and then they still just fucking, So black women destroyed. You got anything? Statistics.
Hosea 4 and 6. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. And they're being forgotten. That's why they're being aborted in the womb. It's the book of Isaiah 3 and 16. Which reads, moreover, the Lord Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks, and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of their head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord Yahweh will discover thy secret parts. Alright? So basically, what is that? That's dealing with you so-called black women. That's the reason why you can't grow your hair. Right? Because the Heavenly Father put a curse upon you. That's why when the whole thing happened with Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett, there was such a big uproar about it, due to the fact that him being a so-called black man should understand the black woman's plight in terms of her hair, right? But that's neither. She was online saying that she's more than happy about her full hair, alright? So I mean, you can't sell it one way and then flip it on its head the other way. You gotta have it how it is, alright? Really, it's a mark of shame. She had that good hair before, alright? Now she don't have no hair, right? And that was a curse from the Heavenly Father.
Yeah, so I got this on Wikipedia, where it said, well, abortion rates tend to be higher among minority women in the US. In the US, in 2000-2001, the rates among black and Hispanic women were 49 per 1,000, 33 per 1,000 respectively, versus 13 per 1,000 among non-Hispanic white women. So, the Northern and Southern Kingdom really Southern Kingdom guy in it. It was like what, almost 4 times as many with the so-called black women. Almost 4 times as many compared to white women. And that's from 2000. I'll see if I can find more recent ones.
But this has been a trend going back to, you had the documentary Mafia 21, where they basically speak about year on year. I believe when they say it was between a 4-year gap, they said how many people died within a space of 100 years of slavery, the same amount of people that died through abortion every 4 days, basically. It's like crazy like that. So these women are basically, they're saying this, man. They're putting numbers on the board in terms of sacrifices to Satan, right? They're his number one customer. They're ready to buy anything he's selling. And that's why they have so much prosperity in this society. Because they're holding to him on their side, right?
To get, so they can get their own pleasure out. So this one has it from 2019. And it's just the percentages. Let's see if I can find the numbers. It says what? In the US, it's like white women are 33%, so a third of abortions. Black women were 38%, which is wild because, like, comparatively, the number of them ain't even to the same level.
And there's like 40 million, well, there's 4 million so-called black people in America. So how many of that is women? In a population of like 350 million?
Yeah.
That's like 1.1, isn't it?
And Hispanic is 21%, then other 7%. That's actually wild. It's actually just Jake women, white women out here, erasing their lines. And everyone else is just making do.
And this is where it is. So black women, what are they doing? They're building their children. And when they're raising their children, they ain't raising them right. But they see them as a patron, right? A leg up within society. They'll forsake, even if they've got a good man on their hands, they'll forsake that good man for the sake of him in their own means. They'll take his money, they'll take the benefits that the government has to give, and they'll neglect looking after their child for the sake of securing that back.
So they're saying in 2017, black women had 295,000 abortions estimated.
That's
And Hispanics 195,000. That's the fucking sheer scale of that shit is insane. That's why it's bro, bro, it's a madness. People are really, it's not remarked upon in any kind of way. Because as far as the two things that basically allow women to participate in society on an equal level to men was abortion and birth control. Those are the two reasons. Those are the only reasons women get into the new society as men. So for you, that's why it's like the Roe v. Wade thing. Women are like, they're a mess. Women are completely turned away from their natural state of being. What was that? Okay, you got something?
Yeah, Lamentations 4 and 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast to give suck to their young ones. We've got Godzilla, man, is down there in the abyss of the sea, whipping out a teeth. Saying, suck on their Lamentation 4:3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast to give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostrich in the wilderness. The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embraced dunghill. So those that would have, fed them delicately, they're brought up, what did it say? I'll read again, verse 5. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets. So even those they did do that, they're desolate in the streets. They ain't got no one to do it. And then the ones that do, they're like, fuck that shit, I want it for myself. They that were brought up in scarlet embraced dunghills, right? Royalty, they're at the bottom. So what does that really go into? That goes into, turning the things upside down, right? I've seen servants upon horses, and princes and servants, upon the earth, all right? So it shows you, aside from Esau, really dealing with the people within the nation of Israel, basically the true rulers are not in place. The wicked are in place, but they distribute funds and have all the ability. Verse 6, for the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Right? So going back to the point, I'll jump verse 3, mid-verse. The daughter of my people has become cruel like ostriches of the wilderness.
Romans 1 and 23. 23. And changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause the Most High gave them up to vile affections, for even their women did change their natural use unto that which is against nature. That's why in the mix you have the LGBT as well, pushing heavily. And then as well, it's like you've had from a while back, from when birth control was a thing, from when abortion's been a thing. It's basically been like what? Turning women away from their natural use, which, the result is you have a society
to have
like,
babies.
Oh well,
Yeah. I know.
It results in a society we have it now, where all form of roles.
You know what I'm saying? It's because that guy and the woman were looking. So I'm like, what you think we ain't gonna say the actual things to have? Like, what the fuck else are you meant to do? You're here to give birth. That's the pinnacle of a woman's life, man.
One of the key
to have their children. And then the man is to provide, is to create a family and provide for that family. That's the role of human beings upon earth. Like, what other fucking else is there to do?
That's true. You got enjoy the latest films. You got Jet Set. You got to make sure you enjoy it. You go to every art exhibition.
If the generation of old
fresh crepes
didn't have sex, you wouldn't be here to enjoy
on
that
the
shit.
fucking spot, man.
You'd have been a fucking tadpole in a piece of tissue. Dude wilding after some dude's anus, man. It's weird, man. That's like I said, the natural use, man. So that's the main thing. Because it's all been flipped. Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as a potter's clay. And that's a key part. Everything has been flipped to where it is just like, for you to, for a man or woman to basically partake in what they're doing. They're trying to make it to something alien. To where it's like, which the retarded thing is,
is, bro, there'll be no fucking people left. And the even funnier thing is it's not even gonna, that ain't even gonna be what happens. Is you'll have, but there's a bunch of places where people are still having kids, like at a 3 to 4 to 5 per family rate. They'll still be around. It'll just be the West that dies off. Because niggas out here ain't doing shit. You got women waiting till like 37 to have their first kid, using IVF, freezing the eggs, all that shit. You got next niggas that basically don't even wanna have kids. They might just fucking just fuck girls and then fuck off. And the kids ain't even knowing who their daddy is. There's all kind, like all the orders that been set up. You know, the family unit, that's been thrown in the bin. Which then when you throw it in the bin, it's like, okay, we're basically just doing whatever. You just fuck with like, okay, well, you know, you might have an open relationship. You know, you might just be like, okay, have some next dude come through and raise the kids. You might have all kinds of messed up circumstances. But they have all these messed up circumstances, which what? Become the normal. It's like everyone's bugged out. So it's like, well, you talk to people about relationships. People are like they're lost their mind.
It is weird, man. Quick one. Mark 13 and 20, and except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days.
Yeah. No, there'll be no one left. Because everyone will be too busy.
Everyone will be aborted.
Everyone will be aborted. They'll be fucking at puppies. You know all kinds of messed up shit, man. Bro, that shit was fucking wild. Apparently there was videos of that shit. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? The puppy died, bro. Like, what? I'm like, that's people lost their minds. But that's why it's and that's the thing, it's become more and more normal. It's like all these kinds of messed up stories, bro. Why? Like, was it really to this extent?
So the Harry
you were
Styles
having, like,
concert I
kids
just
getting
buy,
fiddled,
and I go like, if I
you know,
can have
uncles doing criminal activities on their nieces, you know, aunties doing criminal activities on their nephews. Like, bro, there was one that came and like, said like a 5-year-old got fucked by his auntie. I was like, what the heck? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, people are losing their...
to look at a 5-year-old?
Like, I'm like, can the nigga even get hard? I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing here? But that's the shit's bugged. The shit's bugged out. It's like people are lost their minds. It's the story of the guy that fucked the 6-month-old baby. I was just like, bro, what the hell? Like, what are we doing? Like, and that's the thing. These are things where it's like, it's been a slow process of just shaving away all these different standards of like, you know, okay, what's accepted. Where now it's like, what? Love is love. So then, okay, what's the next step? They'll just say, oh, well, why is a 2-year-old's love not valid? But she said she wants me. But she couldn't send it. Someone who said it, like, yeah, but I think the 2-year-old can consent.
Then my rebuttal will be like to that. I'll say, well,
bro, what are you talking about?
did the fetus consent?
Yeah, to get it, exactly.
Come on,
but
man.
that's the thing is like the reason
You got fucking...
it's all for self-satisfaction. Because basically what? They want to be able to do what they want to do as thou wilt.
Yeah.
And then, they don't want to be held to any kind of standard or have any responsibility laid upon them. Which that's the main thing now. Is responsibility is what? Is something alien. People just want to be able to experience bliss, just endless bliss, which just has you in a mindset where you're bugged. You're open to anything Esau's gonna do. When they push out the Karaka, when the mark comes out, they'll just jump on it. They'll be like, oh, thinking will be saying, oh, you can play Tetris in your own mind. And you can play Snake. You can have Snake in your eyeball and just be playing Snake. And they'll get, oh, they're like, give me that.
That's how ridiculous.
That's how easy it is.
Yeah.
Like people are saying, it's like, oh, just surrender, surrender any form of rights or autonomy, just for safety's sake.
It's not very funny.
And it's like, okay, so it's simple as hell. Once that shit's gone, they ain't coming back. I'm like, bro, it's like passports. Imagine you just be able to just be like, no, I'm gonna go France. And you can just take a boat and sail to France. Now you do that, you're getting choke slammed. You're getting the men are gonna have the speedboat just skidding up next to you, just like
Hawaii
drowning you,
5-0.
just like, oh, go the fucking ground. No, in French,
Channel-
some French nigga just
Channel C 5.
yeah, just like rolling up on you with a fucking AK. Just looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing in our country? But hey, that's all they do for yeah. But that's how fucked up it is. And hey, people shit. Finish it. So surely your turning things upside down shall be esteemed as a potter's clay. For shall the work saith him that made it, he made me not. Or shall the thing framed saith him that framed it, he had no understanding. And yeah, that's like taking abortion. That's something where it's like, and the thing is as well, is the health detriments of having multiple abortions as well. Those things, and then even with birth control especially, women complain continually about how fucked up their bodies get with birth control in the long term. Though a lot of them will go on it and then go off it for a while because they'll just be feeling jacked up. So.
No, it's got the head of the head. Probably spliced two sperms.
Yeah.
It's two chishy
Spirit,
two. Yeah, so that shows you, well, that's even the spirit, man. All forms of abominations that are done on earth, man, when it comes to the natural order of things. Esau staunchly against it, man. This guy, you can show him, look, man, he's just gonna do the wrong thing. I know he's gonna give it passion. So let me fall back.
Let me finish this.
I've got another one.
No, you might as well get yours. Mine's fucking
Dust.
yeah, I had that. So I went to Phil's I was sneezing like the rest of the day.
Yeah, this shit is
It's just dry as fuck.
yeah. Get up. Job 39 and 13. Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which layeth her eggs in the earth, and warmeth them in dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. She hardeneth against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear, because the Most High hath deprived her of wisdom, neither have he imparted to her understanding. Now that's the funny thing about it, because you had an individual known as Kevin Samuels, that was trying to hit you up in the head with a bit of information, man. Alright, tell you women what would make you desirous, or desirable, should I say, in the eyes of men, universally. And it's funny because there's another girl I just come across, her name is Pearl Winnet. And she's an American girl, she's out here, she does videos. She was on his show. She even said she used to speak to him, like she spoke to him a couple of times. And her desire was to build up her platform to the point as the way, because he wanted to come over here. As when he comes over here, he can basically come on a platform and do whatever. But the point being is, what she said was a good gem, because this is a video she spoke on that has with his death. She said, at first I was angry at him for the things he said, but then she said, afterwards I looked at it like he's giving me a cheat code to men. And a lot of women don't look at it like that. They don't look at it like, actually, this guy is giving you a cheat code to win. Like, because he's telling you the real. Like, men will basically omit a woman's beauty, will forget, disregard beauty, like take a couple points of a woman's beauty if she's hospitable, nice to be around, what's the word? That women hate, not feminine, in it feminine, fit and friendly, or like there's another word. It's like service. Catering. Yeah, they hate one of those words. They hate it. And it's like getting shut up and quiet. They got me, man. Yeah, it's funny how there's different generations of music.
Hai sindacato, devi aiutarmi.
But yeah, basically, so yeah, Kevin Samuels was giving you the cheat code. He was allowing you to basically, step up on the scale, get a man that a lot of, women would look at you and be like, how the fuck is he with her? Or kind of thing. And that's why, when you really deal with it, that was letting so-called black women know as to why you're the least favorable desired women in terms of attraction. Because we know we gotta go through hell in a handbasket to fucking deal with it, man. We gotta wake up, put you in a headlock, rear naked choke, throw you in the shower, dig you in the ribs a couple times, and then afterwards you get a bit peaceful. But then by midday you get a bit grouchy and we gotta drop kick you. And basically what I'm saying, I'm not saying physical, abuse. What I'm really saying is the amount of mental gymnastics you have to do to deal with the so-called black woman is fucking crazy, man. Whereas when you compare it to these other heathen nations, or even Northern Kingdom, you ain't gonna go half as much hell, man. And that's why,
Kevin Samuels died in court.
innit? She did, yeah. And she looked fine, man.
She looked fine as well.
She looked good, man. But I think there's even some foul play, 'cause when you really just break it down, it's like, you met a woman yesterday and she's a nurse, and died. And then it's like the story is almost best story possible.
Nothing's coming.
Yeah, because it's like she's a nurse, so she tried to help him, but it didn't work. You know what I mean? If it was just a random woman and she didn't help him, did it be?
Shocked. Didn't know what the symptoms were. Because there was even a meme someone said, of like, oh, this is how the girl was watching him die, and it's just some black woman sitting there like staring at the camera. And it was just like thingy playing in the background. I was like, you know what, it will have to be some shit like that, because otherwise, like, if she's a nurse, like, the fuck? And people are like, oh, you said you shouldn't get with nurses. No, I was like,
It was a one night stand.
Yeah, and the thing is, anyway, is like, bro, you like the way people were ready, like the old man like spitting on his corpse to still walk, like watching him choke out, and just like you're a fucking despicable bastard. I was like, bro, you're like that, and that really shows. That's everyone don't give a fuck. People are really just waiting to kick you on the way down, man. I was like, yo, it's like. Even though it's like what you're saying is like people getting upset. I'm like, yo, you man are really cheering on his death like that. But that
shows you that off the bar, said they hate him and repeating in the case, man. Basically, he was to your benefit. That's the craziest thing about it. He actually was to your benefit. He was saying you want to win, but you just didn't want to hear it. It's the same thing that our Lord went through. He was setting up the nation of Israel to basically catch the W. But it wouldn't happen. Why is that? Because it was a point where they hardened their hearts. They didn't want to believe what you have to say. Alright? Anything that's going to establish some form of a betterment onto yourself is going to require some form of resistance. Like you have to work through the resistance to get to achieve the benefit. That's the reality of it. Nothing in life is just handed to you. You got to work for it, man. Right? Even Esau, all the wickedness stealing from all the people around the world, what did he have to do? He had to put work in doing that wickedness. He had to kill people. He had to lie to people. He had to fuck people over. That was a form of work. It wasn't a righteous work, but it was a wicked work. It was still work at the end of the day. But this is what you got to look at, alright? This...
So, 1 Corinthians 11:3 it says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is a mashayah, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of a mashayah is the most high. So yeah, it's the order essentially set down. And that's why, and this is what the real point of contention with, you know, things that people like Kevin Samuel say. Because what the thing is anyone that's fucked with black women, that knows how black women operate, like, bro, there's some glaring fucking flaws. There are some legendary flaws. Black women have some blind spots, some flaws, that the whole of black culture is basically about kind of molding themselves around. It's like, bro, instead of a girdle, a rent, it's definitely one of them. The attitude is legendary. And the thing is that's something that became like in culture, just know, oh, the angry black woman. Then they're saying, oh, no, blah, 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 not all women are like that, etc., etc. Then it's like, what the fuck, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because in reality, it's like, if you fuck with them, they can be ignorant as fuck. That's the thing, it's all the shit, it's real as fuck. And then it's like, the thing is as well, it's like, you do see the odd black woman that will be peaceable, that have timid nature. That shit is like seeing, I don't know, man. A unicorn, like a unicorn, a bright,
as they call it,
fluorescent green rabbit that flies. Like that shit is like seeing a 17-leaf clover. It's like seeing, you know, it's like seeing Leviathan, you know, chilling with you. It's like taking, I don't know. It's like seeing a nigga flying on a cloud. That shit is a mythical beast. So that's what the reason why it's mythical is why. Because everyone that knows, anyone with black mom, you talk to them, that's a universal experience. Having a black mother is a universal experience to the point where you can say, yeah, well, you know black moms are, and everyone's like, yeah. And you mention certain things like, oh yeah, my mom was doing X, Y, Z. So, oh yeah, same shit. Same shit. Like, bro, it's like, that, and that's a reality. That's why, like, all Esau's trying to do with all this, like, modern conception of things, is what denying reality. As far as it's like the black household is systematically destroyed. And then when you go into the modern, and especially whenever you see these modern BLM, these movements, who do you see at the forefront? Like a bunch of black ass women, man. That's what you see.
You niggas champion them on, man. There's no reason. Listen, like, there ain't no need for you to. And I really told you how destroyed we are as a nation because a man is the head of the household. We can go back to the genesis of all generations, right? When Adam, right, he saw that he wasn't good, he was lonely, and then he needed a helpmeet, and then he was given a what? A wife, a woman, right? That's the position of a woman in society. She's to be an aid onto a man. Now, women, what black women tend to do, there ain't no men to be an aid onto. But then, why you still fucking with these dudes? Yeah.
That's the thing as well.
Because when they do find a man that is actually more than capable of taking care of them,
are they able to be a teammate?
No.
Be a member of, you know, the baseball team?
They want to fight, they contest against that individual, joust for position in hopes that he will succumb.
So they can lead it into hell.
Yeah.
On the highway to hell.
Yeah.
That's where she wants to take you.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And the joke is, just like with the abortion, black women are overrepresented. You go to other nations, they ain't fucking like that. Like, they'll move different. That's why it's like, even the Northern Kingdom, these Hispanics, you know, these tribes, the way they move, dealing with Jake, is they're moving way more chill. That's why I was watching, what was it, Rush Hour 2. You had, what's her name in it? I can't even remember, man.
I know her, but she was baiting that time.
Yeah, in that time as well. So even Eva Mendes as well was bait as hell.
I saw her on the cover of a magazine. I was shocked. Like,
yeah, she's like alive. 50 something.
Yeah.
Still looking. Well, what's her name?
Selma Hayek. Airbrush.
Yeah. Selma Hayek is still looking like. She's been looking the same for like the last 20 years.
But I see Eva Longoria is looking kind of wasting the fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
That's why I was shocked to see her on the cover.
Eva Longoria is like, situations got decimated.
Yeah.
The
'Cause
sands
they
of
don't
flag.
age as good as black women.
Yeah. Some of them can.
That's
It's
like,
like, yeah.
white women. You have some white women that
Yeah,
it's
you
rare.
can see her.
You see some of them are like, wow, like there was one of them from what's it called?
Oh yeah.
She looks
yeah,
50, dark hair. She looks 50 or so, and she still looks like how she did like
Yeah,
before.
back in the,
But that's it's a rarity. It ain't commonplace. It ain't like black on crack with us.
yeah. There's a chick from what they call the Bangles? The Bangles, yeah. She was like, I don't know, in her 20s from like looked like an Egyptian. And was it Eternal Flame? I think as well. They did. Like she's still doing music. It's like she's 50 something. Like she looks like good. She looks like she could be like early 40s. It's actually mad. It's like she's still in shape. Still does like concerts and shit. I was like, God damn. I was like, the guy that's been married to her, he's been married to her for like the last 30, 40 years. I was like, he held
happy,
tight.
man.
Yeah, he's set. He's just like, he's like, I ain't switching up for shit. But hey, when you become black women, it's like, why there's so many divorcees, so many single mothers? Come on, bro, there's one guy. This guy's got 2 sisters with youths, and it's like one of them, she's a criminal. I think she's in jail now. But I don't know. She just had a youth on the road, man. That kid's done. He's done. He's over.
Little sister.
He's destroyed. He's on that fight.
Smoking crack.
Yeah, he's that baby that Dave Chappelle met in the hood, man. It's like, little baby? He's in the crack. That nigga I can kiss and feed.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh shit, nigga. That's real, man.
Yeah, but yeah, he's done. He's toast. His dad's in jail. His mom apparently tried to kidnap someone. That's why she's in jail. Like it's over. The other one is like a bit older. Yeah, I was like, what are you? Like, I was like, kidnapping someone.
Sully.
Like, how you? But at least get away with it. At least do it in some kind of way.
At least get away with it.
Yeah,
Get away with that shit. You get away with that shit.
But then the other one as well, she's like getting older, like early 30s. But she wants to have a kid. The guy she had a kid with is like he's in no kind of financial constraints to get together. Apparently ran us, picked her around the house and shit. And then got together and broken up multiple times. Like it's the most broken relationship. But she's like, oh, I want a kid. Like, are you gonna then think like maybe this ain't the one to kind of like maybe the shit ain't working out.
Yeah.
Maybe you need it's not. Maybe he's not the one. Maybe you're just not the one for it. Like, and then it's like now the kids are the mix. It's over. I'm like the shit's done. I'm like this is the glory of letting women have the autonomy to choose their partners. Suddenly it's like when you have the different societies that keep more to traditional standards. There's one girl I'm working with. She's from fucking posh, high end, from the countryside. The family. She calls her daddy. She goes to like 7 to 10 trips a year. She doesn't have any form of monetary urge. Now she goes skiing. She goes
that's what I mean.
for 5-star hotels.
But I know the pattern from where I was going on before.
Yeah.
So I saw it. So I clocked onto it. I'm like, oh,
the exact
so you
same.
do this at that time,
Exact
you do that, you do this. You do
Yeah.
that. Like there's a whole. It's that August, no one goes, no one
Yeah.
wants to in Europe. Everyone's on holiday. And you
But
have
that's-
like skiing trips around February, March time.
Yeah. So that's
Down going to the French Alps. Like there's a playbook basically. If you abide by that playbook, that basically means that you're doing good.
You're dealing with dealing with the same level. So it's like even her, she said, oh, she's going on a date. And the guy she's going on a date with was a family friend. Like she met him for a date and she was like, oh, it's a family friend. So I'm just gonna go kind of see blah. And it's like she ain't just fucking with just some random dude. It'll be
She knows what
yeah. She's like, okay, I'm dealing with a certain kind of level. So even the job, she's temporarily working around for a link up with a friend. She's going into working, with antiques and there's certain, she was working at Sotheby's or one of the other ones. It's like, those high-end place. Yeah. So that and hey, that's what they kind of deal with, and that's the thing is Esau will still when you get when you get beyond Dagenham, you get beyond like the working class or lower class chef. We actually get to the Edomites that are trying to get in certain positions. They want the kids to go to Eton. They want to be niced up. They want to have generations.
They may have a lineage that goes back to Oxford or places like that.
Yeah, sat in the sticks. They got grandma's house at the sticks. Down in might be down in Devon, might be Bath. Leamington Spa.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the word.
But basically, they don't go to. They go down to the local lake. It's like they'll be there in the summertime.
Yeah,
They'll swimming in there,
fishing and having barbecues.
different kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. They'll probably have a fucking house built down in
That's
that
big,
shack.
yeah.
But hey,
I know one girl used to work like that. It's funny because I thought about it the other day. She'll be always I remember for the whole pandemic, she was busy. And like a big house, fucking nice fucking house. She's like, oh yeah, I grew up with the brother's son. Like she went to school with all those type of kids.
Yeah. So her working that job is just that's for texture. That's just to give culture.
All of them that were there
cultures.
with that. So that's why when I was meeting them, I really, it's how I realized, oh shit, we ain't never met a nigga like me before.
Actually, yeah.
You really don't know.
Can you spit some a fat 16 for me, please? That's what I expected.
But like they never told me this.
But yeah, that's why it's the same with Moab. The ones that come over here, they're the ones that are paying like 15 grand a year, going uni, paying for like the places they're staying in. They'll be paying like what,
Remember a lot of them were single around the Robert spot.
Yeah.
Remember them blocks of just thousands that stacked late at night when we go for a walk. We're going back to the apartment complex.
And that's why it's like, and they're paying. I remember when I was in Victoria as well. Victoria there, it's like I think those ones. It's like if you want to buy it out, like if you're renting, you're probably paying like $2 grand plus a month. I think it's $2.5 grand plus. Like for the smallest upwards. So it's like if you're seeing like people, they're coming from money. It's a lot of people from China that will do like international uni just because in China if you get qualifications, there's like one test that you have to take, you have to pass. If you flop that test, you flop. So it's like they'll rather just go for like international what do you call it? Rewards or whatever, international degree. But then what? The way they're fucking with, they'll keep to their own. They'll keep to around certain circles. They ain't really just gonna be moving with whoever. Same for like, hey, when you get people with even these Nigerians, man. These Nigerians have money.
It's the only people I see, if I'll be honest with you. It's either going to be rich European nations. It's going to be Southeast Asian, Japanese, Taiwanese, Chinese, Korean. They're doing it up, and it'll be Nigerians. Like
Nigeria. But and they'll kind of operate a certain way.
Because I think a lot of people don't realize that at one point, going back to the 70s, the Naira was as strong as a pound. So you had a lot of people where they basically made a good fortune back in the old times, going back to the 70s or so, and they basically was able to establish themselves over here and back home. And then some of them dropped the ball, as we know, some dropped the ball, and others capitalized on it. So that's why you have like Nigerians, like all of the so-called African nations. You still have other African, because you've got rich people everywhere. But they just more so than others just had it. Yeah. And if I'll be honest with you, I believe Nigerians are more superior as well. I mean, it sounds fucking. It sounds crap. But I mean,
I think Nigerians just have a stat. They have
The
structure.
culture over there is
They have
more
a
structured.
culture.
Yeah.
They're a method.
Yeah.
They have a kind of way they go around operating big things.
Yeah.
That's what other countries don't really have.
That's why you will find them everywhere in the world, basically. Janice,
And it's the
why
same.
the fuck is that a big thing?
And that's
went over.
That's the same as with the Chinese. They have a system of how they go. That's why them men in Africa.
Yeah.
Them men in Africa do every bit of construction. It's Chinese funding construction. I was watching a video they were going into it how the Chinese basically have they'll do certain deals. Well, they'll first borrow money, then it's like if they have trouble paying it back, they'll give them discounts on how much you have to pay, but then they have to fuck with certain companies to do certain construction projects. If they want to build up like hospitals or whatever, they want to develop certain parts, build certain roads, do certain things, then they'll have to fuck with Chinese companies. And then gets them in the ecosystem. So, and it's basically what Esau used to do when he did it. It's like he already rinsed it, he washed them out for whatever he washed them out for. Now it's Moab trying to settle the same thing.
There's a good video I watched actually yesterday dealing with the Taiwanese and how the island of Taiwan is such a pivotal place within Southeast Asia. Because there's two reasons. Because of the geographically where it is, where it's placed, it serves as and its political alignment with America, serves as a buffer between China and the rest of the world. Basically, it doesn't allow their navy to be access to the greater world. All right, to basically actually have the upper hand with warfare pop off the world. Because Taiwan would be their first point of conflict, and then you have all the islands. That'll be the first wave, and behind that is all the other islands that they settle. So they will basically be contained within their area. They can't basically get past that. But then another reason is because Taiwan has they're basically developing chips. I forgot the name of the chips. It's like 3 millimeter chips or something like that. It's only made in Taiwan. So, and the whole world gets. Yeah. I watched it once, but I was like, yeah, I'm left. You know, you just watch something like I know I got to watch
one
it again.
channel that they're kind of going into it.
The guy's law. Yeah. So he was going into it, and basically, their chips basically supplied all around the world. So China needs them, the whole world needs them. Yeah. So it's a thing of like, the other thing with people going into that country, like anyone taking over them, the thing that would be a big problem is that there's a risk that whoever goes in and it may, to save their arses, they may destroy the chips. And then that's it, it's done. The only way you're going to get that technology once again is by the mines that are in the bloody island being able to actually do it all over again. So you need them. It's kind of like with the Oppenheimer, going back to the German scientists that got split up between America and Russia.
Where they needed them to develop it.
Yeah. So their chips, but they've never developed them anywhere outside the world, but they've made an agreement with America to do it over there in 2025, but by that time I believe they're going to move on to, I think it's 5. By that time they move on to, they're developing the 3, and then they'll be working on moving to the 2 millimeter. So they're basically making leaps and bounds. That's why they're a big deal within the world stage. If they were to be taken over, it's gonna basically whoever controls them controls the world. And if they lose that technology, basically we're going into the dark ages, you know, in terms of technology is gonna dial back a bit, and it's gonna take a big blow. It's gonna take a while for that technology to be developed once again. So there's a lot on the line in that sense. But that goes back to what? Moab being a washpot onto Esau, right? It's really where it is, the so-called Chinese, so-called Taiwanese, really different Moabite nations, they're basically rinsing the so-called island of these wealth, these resources. And that's pertaining to the prophecy in the Bible, right? That's why they've been saying so much that, the next in line to rule will be the Chinese. Psalm 60 and 8. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Right, that's the point. So they're going to rinse through Esau's resources. And that's by design of the Heavenly Father. Even though, and this is really part of the dissension of Esau, Edom rulership over the earth. They're falling from grace. But these other nations need to get involved in the mix in accordance to their portion. Right? Even other scriptures tell you in the book of Joel about the other nations being strengthened, turning their plowshares into beating their plowshares into spears, basically, into swords. So basically they're being set up in a position where we're going to be able to take over this kingdom, right? But only for the sake of when Yahweh Shai makes his return on earth. See what I'm saying?
Psalm 64 and the Psalm 6 says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Yeah, that tongue to fall on itself is what? It's Esau, all these things like read before, like the skirt getting lifted, all Esau's secrets being revealed, and really all that shame coming upon him. Because that's the thing is even with Esau, the bedrock of how he's basically been able to develop himself has been what? The consolidation of resources, wealth, other things from other nations. You know, he's a master thief. Basically, there's a term, brain drain, about what? When you get mines from, mines from certain regions. It can happen between companies, it can happen between countries, it can happen between industries. But it's like what you had, a big part of it is you have a lot of people that will leave, they'll leave like, they might be in Asia, they might be in India, they might be in Africa, they might be in various South America, whatever. They'll leave, they might go and study and then they'll look for jobs within what? Where the West, because that's the main place there is to make money. So a lot of what Esau's got is what? Built off with various, talents from around the world going into one place. That's why it's like you look at the US winning Olympic titles. A lot of these Olympic titles, it's like you just got some straight up jets. Yeah. Like there's hella places where you go. It's like even you go to various European countries where it's just like you just have a bunch of black ass motherfuckers there. You're just like, hold on. You're like, this is wild.
Some nigga board on the top of a fucking coconut tree, man.
He's got the yellowest palms.
Yeah. that nigga the real car guy, man. Nigga climbing trees with his mouth.
Okay, there's some specimen jakes.
Yeah, man.
So man's like no barely any muscle, and the guy is outpowering just that guy. It's like guy,
down there, the fisherman in Guatemala, man just there,
swimming,
surfing on the palm,
27 miles per hour underwater, like,
surfing waves on the balls of his feet, man. Yo, you got like there's some
expensive, you see some of these
feats
like,
to
bro.
be doing, man. I always stick to my mic, and I remember Makari Kwame told me, he said like, there's one video, he said like some Jake, it's dark. Like he's in Guatemala and like something like that. He said he's a fisherman and he's carving like kites. Like it's like and then he's like, he's iconic and dark. And I was like, I wanna be like that guy, man. Dark. Just not like a bodybuilder, just like fucking lean and just like
for purpose, fit for purpose.
Like farmer strength kind of shit, like thick forearms, thick calves, just like some real fucking tender strength. But you got Jakes like that out there, man. And then they'll be found in, a country like Lithuania or some shit.
Yeah.
Just doing crazy shit, man.
Teams doing things. Because why? It's Jake is overrepresented. That's why it's funny. It's bruh. And that's the thing. As far as for the West, the reason the West has been dominated is why? Because they've had it's a residue of what? Of the time when they went around dominating and consolidated everything. But now what? All these other nations, they've developed. Read this. Isaiah 14 and 9. It says, "Hell from beneath is moved to thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all chief ones of earth. They have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto them, Art thou become weak as a we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" Yeah, how is Esau cut down? Because why? And they even saying, "What art thou become weak as weak?" Because what? It's been a period of time where all these other nations weren't on any kind of level to where they can be able to challenge the West. But then you've seen over time it's become clearer and clearer, more evidence like, damn, these other and disconnected. I don't even know what is that.
Satan.
Yeah. All this fucking shit is just flying around. Shit,
Right.
Okay. So where was I? So verse 13. But thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That's been the goal. That's the reason everything's been consolidated. Esau's it's the Tower of Babel, man. Esau's been trying to heap together all the nations, everyone come together to build what, to escalate him to the heavens so that he can be as the Most High. That's what he's trying to be. That's the aim. Yeah, non-stop. It's the truth. There's no. Okay. What was I saying?
Basically the nations come over and build his kingdom. That's really what's going on. That goes into all dealing with the whole, black inclusion. Right, so we have now, Jake being represented in
Fashion campaign,
not so much political campaigns, but it's part of the political campaign.
I think it's look, it's like there's those kind of like acne, those kind of borrowers or whatever.
Yeah,
where they'll kind of just have,
yeah,
where it's just like that's the first place that like Jake will see.
yeah.
So there's like they'll vote for whatever black person comes in, they don't give a fuck. It's like mayor of Chicago and shit like that. Like Jake's. They kind of showed it in The Wire. The Wire shows it really well. What's his name? Carquet. When it's coming to be the man, Littlefinger, coming to be the mayor, where he's like, it's a white boy.
He was the best thing for the job.
This linguini motherfucker. This lasagna ass. This spaghetti and meatballs ass motherfucker. This pepperoni pizza eating ass.
The best guy for the job. He actually had
He had a plan.
Yeah.
And that's what and then you have the same Jakes brought back in time and again, running off,
Yeah.
black exploitation.
And they showed it at the end and said that fuck this right. Government, that's the reality. These dumb niggas feed into that.
Why is it the same that's been getting y'all destroyed? He ain't doing shit for you. So then, but that's why. Well, let me read this. Just a quick one. Guy for ancient relic. Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth and the gates thereof languish. They are black. Yeah, the gates thereof languish, man. The gates destroyed. Why? All the leadership. You guys, there's no form of righteousness. Hey, there's one form coming from the apostles, from down, from it's like, oh, fuck. What am I gonna do? Don't call me looks like this. After all these years. Well, it was just like, receipts of withdrawing money and putting in his personal account. The man said, it's like, oh, well, I walk down the street. I got, everyone comes to me. It's like, I'm going to pay for my bills.
Jeremiah 2 and 3 is yeah, every brother shot out. That's the way it is. Jacob is going to live up.
As far as kind of crusade, there want to be Rosa Parks, there want to be Martin Luther King. There want to be this iconic black. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up, man. Y'all out here just living life like your citizens, man. You're Roman citizens. You're citizens of Neo-Rome. Like y'all are just, you got your Greek names. You can fuck with, you do your workplace. You go up to the temple. Sacrifice to Zeus. Like trying to carve their niche. They're gonna try that made the earth tremble, that did shake kingdoms. You have the final scene of Apocalypto, where it's just like that's any on the trade, South China's dog, bro. That had to do his own talk. And that's how he saw them. That's his legacy. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof. Yeah, man actually, I think they tried to ban opium in China. But then Esau, he had to get it smuggled in, so keep them fucked, so they could keep the